Hey, Warrior Saints. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. We're glad you're here. I want to share with you some frustrations. So I'm going to, just confess a couple of things. Not confess, share with you. Like I own a little building, right? So it's a little small little apartment complex, and I have tenants in there, and they're great, beautiful people. And one of them is struggling financially. Like had an issue with a job and was looking for new work and so on. And in the meantime, they were late on rent. And I always try to be gracious and help them. And so I just sent a text on, this was last week, on the 2nd, which was, I guess was that Thursday was the 2nd. Rent's due on the 1st. And I said, hey, just following up, what's going on with the aid from the government that you're seeking? The city was going to help her get through her rent. Just following up. I wanted her to know I was staying on it. And she wrote back a text, very nice, hey, I let you know, it may take 10 days and so on. I said, okay, I just want to stay on top of it. I'm so sorry to keep after you, just want to stay on top of it. And she wrote back the text to me, no problem. And I about lost my mind. I didn't say anything to her, but I was like, what do you mean no problem? Like, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? Like, you have a lease with me. It's a contract. You signed it. We went through it. Rent's due on the 1st, right? It's not that hard. And you didn't pay rent on the 1st. And I'm not punishing you for that. I'm being compassionate, working with you, and I understand that. And I'm trying to be genteel about saying to you, hey, I'm just reminding you, get on it. You don't respond, no problem, as if I'm inconveniencing you, right? Like, you're inconveniencing me. Do you understand? And this is a thing that happens these days. It's like, if I, with politeness and gentility, say, not a problem at all. That's insane to me, right? And so it leads ultimately, in my mind, to a transference of responsibility. That in this person's shortcomings, not the word I'm looking for, but in this person's not following throughness, if I can make that up, they're making it seem as though I've inconvenienced them. This is something that Warrior Saints, you cannot do. I love this person. I'm going to help her. I want to keep her with me as long as I can. And, I'm just using it as an example for us today because as Warrior Saints, we don't do that stuff. If someone calls you out for something you have neglected to do, you apologize and say, I'm so sorry. I'll get it to you right away. Right? You don't say, no problem. It's a shift in mentality, a mindset shift for us to recognize, look, we have got to be constantly looking for responsibility for our own lives. Always taking responsibility. It is not your fault or his fault or her fault. It's always my fault because I control my life. As much as any one person can control a life, it's me that controls my life and you that control yours. Do you understand? I know that God's all powerful. Certainly there are things that are out of our control. But in situations like this, we always want to assume complete and total responsibility for it. Because then I have the power to take control and change for the positive. Do you understand? If I'm always out of control and not taking responsibility, that means someone else is controlling my life. This is why, look, allow me to pitch here. We have so visit warriorsaints.org, get your copy of the book. And in this book, you're going to find a bunch of great chapters that deal with this precisely this very topic. One of them is called responsibility. One of the chapters in our book is called responsibility, taking responsibility. How we as Warrior Saints can say, that is my responsibility, my life. I'm going to influence the outcome by my work. Do you understand? We have chapters that deal with victims and villains, right? When you don't take responsibility, you become a victim. It happened to me. And then consequently, you make the other person a villain. He did it to me. So, he's the bad guy, and you're a pansy because you didn't take control of your life and you pass the blame on him. Do you understand? This is not a way that we can live our lives as Warrior Saints. Rather, it's time to step up and be crucifixional and say, look, I'm coming to get some. It's my life. I'm going to make it happen. We're going to fail. Things are outside of our control sometimes. God is all powerful. I get all that kind of stuff. But when we say things like, no problem, you've ceased responsibility for your life, passed it to the other person. Don't do that. That's the lesson. Do not do it. So, if you visit warriorsaints.org, you're going to be able to purchase this book, which will give you those chapters about responsibility and victims and villains and how you can start taking control. More importantly, at warriorsaints.org, you can also subscribe to the library. And the library has a ton of teachings about responsibility and ownership for life. All of that rambling has just poured out of me because that beautiful tenant of mine made me irritated. I love her dearly. I will always love her and care for her. But she gave me a great opportunity to vent, to rant, but to teach about responsibility. Love you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Be responsible for your lives. Make good things happen. You can do it. We can help. Join us, warriorsaints.org. Until tomorrow, as always, keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.